It's Friday night, it's 9:30 and we're partying!
Yoo-hoo!
No, we don't have weekends anymore.
Nah, no party for us.
Why is that, Kevin?
Because we spend all of it in this place.
And we're going to show you through it.
Our distillery.
I'm Fletch.
And I'm Kev.
And this is Tano Spirits. And this is our distillery under construction. We know that we said we were going to do these updates a lot more often.
I think it was monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we hope that when you see what we've actually been doing, you'll understand why, right?
Yeah. I mean, what our last one was November. We had just moved into this place. So there's probably going to be a lot of stuff different to when it was in November.
I can't remember that video. I can't remember.
I don't want to think about it, actually.
Yeah. Can't remember. It was an empty room.
It was a mess, and it was empty, and now it's a mess, but there's more shit in here.
It is a mess. And just as a caveat, shit is under construction right now. Things are everywhere, but we're going to take you through it. We have made a lot of progress. We hope we're not too far off. It might not look it sometimes, but all the pieces are in place, right?
The stuff's here. We just need to sort of put it together. It's like the jigsaw puzzle has arrived, and now we have to make it a thing.
I call it Distillery Tetris.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you know, you've got all these things coming in at once, and then like they slow down, and then you got to put it in place, and you got to like, this has to happen before this has to happen, and this has to happen before this.
This going in. This go this way. This go this way.
Yeah. But this is our social life now. Our social life is Friday night,
hanging out,
building stuff in the distillery.
Yeah.
So, we're going to show them through.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. This is the dechaosifier. There are many like it, but this is ours.
And it comes in Tano colors.
It comes in Tano colors. So look, you don't understand the importance of these racks, okay? This is the most recent addition to the distillery. We put these up last week.
Last week. Yeah.
There were a few
issues with putting it up? No, it went smoothly. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
it was
totally. There were no issues with not really understanding dyno bolts or things like that, or trying to take dyno bolts out of concrete. Nothing like that ever happened.
No.
It is now fully done and fully rated and fully safe, right?
Yes, fully safe.
Yes,
and
fully
also fully containing most of the stuff that we, until now, it was just lying on the floor. So it does feel really good to be able to put things into boxes and
labels,
racks and with labels,
power tools, brew bits.
You know, and also, you know, it kind of complements the artwork in the background, which we were worried about. We're like, oh, is it going to be completely, concealed? No, it's there. Beautiful.
This is our mate Keo Match. He did this artwork, and when he painted here, I did say to him, "We're going to put racks there," and he's like, "That's fine. That's good." And it actually looks really good.
It's really good.
And how good was it when these? You know, the funny thing is, we put these up, and then I stepped back and I went, "Hey Kev, they're Tano colours."
Yeah.
So they were totally colour match.
They're so good. I'm pretty happy with them.
Prior to this, all of this stuff, all of our shit, it was just everywhere. It wasn't anything. This has allowed us to actually like move everything, store everything. We're going to be able to put all of our ingredients, our consumables. We're going to be able to put all of our equipment and stuff down at the end. We're going to have a spirit store, which will be, nicely hazardous area safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
racks,
great.
man.
It's just, it's that same feeling you get when you're like tidying the house, right? And you're like, oh, things on shelves, things in cupboards, things away. It just makes you feel
not like a hoarder.
Better. It just makes you feel like you're also doing something, which for a long time we were like, God, we're looking at stuff. We're just looking at crap the whole time.
We were moving things around.
Oh yeah,
in circles.
We were literally playing that kind of what's that? Like that weird game you get where it's like a picture and you got to try and make it into the face of somebody by moving these blocks around. That's what we were doing. We were doing that on a daily basis.
So
and it was annoying.
Big bonus. Maybe not exciting, but anybody that runs a brewery or a distillery can attest to the fact that racks are the best.
Racks are cool. We love racks.
Next. So when I started building these, Kevin kind of thought that I was crazy, that I'm like, I need to do these now. I need to do these like before anything else.
Yeah.
right?
Yes. I was very much like, what is this madman doing? We haven't even cleaned the place properly, and he's building fucking dope sheds in this distillery.
They do. They look like grow houses. They look like grow houses. Now, I've got a whole video that I'm going to put together about these. These are our Nuruk Bangs. These are very nicely positioned on the very, very far opposite side of where our koji room is going to be. And there will be very, very strict conditions of entry to the koji room if you go anywhere near these. These are where we're going to make our Nuruk. And we've actually been making our Nuruk for quite a while, because there's a saying, there is no brewery without Nuruk. You cannot make Sul without your own Nuruk. You have to make your own Nuruk. Now, we have the opportunity, we could actually import Nuruk from Korea, but because of, we're doing everything here traditionally.
We're doing everything by ourselves, by hand.
We are making our own. And so this is some like little images and stuff. This is the Nuruk we've been doing. We have some test batches going. We're about to start brewing our first Makgeolli out of this. Everything is going great. But these rooms here, we'll cover them in another video, but they are fully automated. They are all in our app using Home Assistant, and it's all integrated, beautiful code. Our mate Aaron's done all the coding and stuff for us and helped us out in setting it up. But you can actually like control these things down to the minute detail. Temperature, humidity, they have vents.
And they work. You can see that the things open there. And
then
space age,
Space age.
It's like it's the future, man.
I mean, they're freaking cool. But the really important thing here is that because we want to do things traditionally, these were the test bed for when we actually construct our big koji room down there. Because we're not going to use a HVAC system for our koji room. We're going to try to emulate a more traditional style of koji muro. So these are our Nuruk Bangs. There's a video coming up on this. It's very interesting. But there's a lot more to show, so...
It's been a great little introduction into how we plan on growing koji as well, the way in which we can control an environment and like in the ways in which we can do it and what we need to do it. So when the koji room goes in, we'll have a lot more data that we can pile into the koji room so that we can make good koji from the start, which is really exciting.
The one thing that I can safely say is that this is the first commercial Nuruk Bangs that have been made in Australia, and we will be making the very first Nuruk here in Australia, made here in Australia. Because it's not been done before.
Right here in Melbourne's northern suburbs.
Which is really exciting for both our Makgeolli and for our traditional soju.
And for all lovers of soju,
and
shochu,
and keisul, and everything.
And chongju and everything, all that stuff.
Stay tuned. Shit's going well.
So the next step on our wonderful journey that we're doing around the distillery is the arse end of the distillery, I guess you could call it, the waste management part, which was another very important part of the distillery construction that we put in at a couple months ago. It's basically just some IBCs that we have hooked up to our sewer, our drain, which then basically acts as a settling tank, and then it goes out to the sewer. We haven't really started using them properly yet. At the moment, it's really just for cleaning all the vessels. But it will become a very important part of the distillery when we're up and running, as we start to deal with more biological, rice and backwash and everything like that, so that we can ensure that everything going to the drain is safe to go to the drain.
They might look like they're full of icky, disgusting brown water, reminiscent of other things.
Of shit.
Of shit. But very important. So this is a part of our waste management plan. We have to make sure that everything is safe and good when it goes down into the sewer. So we have 2 of these at the moment. We may put a 3rd one in. We're not sure yet. But basically what happens is all our wastewater comes in here. It settles down into this tank. It rises to a level, and then it vents out or comes out into this one.
That one?
It comes into this one. It settles. We treat this with chems to make sure that it's safe to go down. And then we dump it down. And that's it.
That is it.
Pumping.
That is it.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, this stuff over here that goes off camera does go to a pump that is in a sump that is directly behind this camera, which was a story.
That was a story. So
into itself.
Now we had a situation when we moved in here, which we didn't know about. We didn't really think about it. Usually, when you go into a warehouse, the slab's what, 30 centimeters?
It's like 40? It's like a couple of 100 mil. Deep.
Yeah.
Usually.
So he lives in mill land, engineer land. I live in centimeter
land. Okay, so like 20 centimeters.
People land, right? 20 centimeters.
Yeah.
30 centimeters. Usually concrete is that thick. How thick was our concrete slab that we found out after they brought a backhoe in, dug down and went, this isn't ending. How deep did it end up being?
So they ended up having to dig down a meter through concrete. Now they didn't have to dig down the entire depth for the whole sewer, but for our sump, which is where the lowest point of our drain is, which we needed, that needed to go down a meter. And normally that's only a couple 100 mil of concrete to cut, and then the remaining 800 mil is just dirt. But they ended up having to cut through a meter, almost a meter of concrete, which took a long time and was very loud.
Like back in the day when they built this place, concrete was cheap. Let's just fill it full of concrete. But there was absolutely no way for us to actually know that it was going to be that deep. That ended up being the second most expensive thing that we have actually done in this distillery. But we didn't have plumbing. It shouldn't have been like that. It was harsh because we had to change our plans for the plumbing because we were going to have 2 drains. We were going to have like a whole thing. Now we have 1 drain, which will be an abundant area. And it's just like that's the way things go.
It'll do the job. But boy, what a job that was to get that done. So
well, you've seen the pictures by now. So that was all to lead into this. So there's a lot of considerations we're making. A lot of there's a lot more behind a lot of all this stuff that you see in a distillery when people are setting up than you probably think. One of them is a meter thick concrete built in 1920s, which we had no fucking idea about.
Had we known about it, maybe we could have made a better choice.
Yes.
But we are where we are, so let's just, it is done.
It's done now. It's done now. We have drainage, we have our waste treatment, all that. Over on this side, you can't really see it, maybe a little tiny bit, but this is going to be all of our condenser water, which will lead to the stills and which will be pumped. You'll see 1 IBC here. We will basically have a row of 3 to 4 IBCs. Condenser water will come in, cool, back to the still. We're trying to recycle.
It'll pump that way and return, the hot water will return back in there, and it'll basically act as a circulation. And obviously the massive water will mean that the still will always be getting 20-degree water or colder.
Hardcore pump.
Which is what we need to ensure that the distillate condenses and we get a distillate and not a vapor.
It also means that we can recycle our water. We don't want to waste water. Water is expensive. This is Australia.
1,000 litres of water is,
Cool. So that's the plumbing. One of the most important pieces in this distillery is this. This is our custom-made steamer that we have built specifically for the production of Shochu Soju Makgeolli. This baby, and it's not a baby, it's a monster.
It's a monster.
It doesn't look like much probably in the video, but this can probably hold, I think, what did we design it for? At the very least, we wanted it to be able to hold up to 600 kilos of sweet potato, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will double in many different ways. We will actually use this for steaming rice. We will use it for steaming barley. We will use it for steaming sweet potato. We will use it for our koji and awamori batches. It's all purpose. It's a lot. It's big. But
she big.
We wanted something that could basically allow us to do everything that we wanted to do by just swapping things out and stuff. So we have this beautiful, this is like a pressure cover. And if you've ever seen, maybe you haven't, sake breweries and all that kind of stuff, steamers have a pressure cover. When this is steaming, this will actually inflate up and it'll help keep the pressure in there and steam the rice like more evenly. It has a false bottom in here where you actually pack the rice or sweet potato or anything like that. We might have different plates for different things. We're not sure yet what we're doing. We have, you know, like the elements
there, here. Slight glasses down here.
Yeah.
So this is like just a big old
steamer.
Like just a rice cooker, really. Just a massive rice cooker that'll hold, like, honestly, probably like a ton of rice.
Probably up to a ton, honestly.
Probably like a ton.
It can probably do
we can put in this thing.
Yeah.
So it's good to just, I think at the outset, we were like, let's make it so it's big enough to do like twice as much as we think we would need. And then we don't have to worry about it being too small. And now we just can't wait to plug this baby in and start steaming some rice.
I mean, I can't wait. Like, you know, as we increase our production over time, this will come in handy because we can actually put a segment down the middle of it. We can steam rice on one side, barley on the other side, leave that, or...
There's a lot of
potential
options we have for this thing.
I love this thing. And Cheeky Peak.
Yeah, the guy
designed this for us, right? Cheeky Peak.
Yeah, he did this one for us, so we're really happy with it.
Beautiful. So this is our steamer.
And now we come to fermentation. So we were always of the mind that we wanted to do open fermentations. That is kind of what they do in Japan. They often do it in big ceramic vessels. Ceramic vessels are going to be way outside of our price point, and also just getting them is very difficult.
It's hard to source them for us.
Especially of the batches that we wanted to do. So the next best thing is
wooden fermenters, which are traditionally used for sake, for shochu.
This came from a winery, so they ferment wine, or they can ferment and age wine in something like this. This is 1,000 liters, so we are going to be fermenting our shochu in these. Now, the wood doesn't necessarily carry over any flavor. We don't really want it to carry over any flavor, but what's really good is it's a great insulator. Big, thick bits of wood there will help keep the heat in and keep the cold out, and means that we don't actually have to rely as much on glycol chillers to keep things cold or heaters to keep things warm. We'll just let the natural environment play it out, which will mean we'll get more varied ferments, which means we'll just get a more unique product.
Our shochus, we ferment at a higher temperature anyways, right? So we're 20 to 30. Like sometimes for Awamori, maybe at the top end. The other good thing about using wooden fermenters is that things live in the wood, right? So we can kind of ferment in these, and it can build up with that kind of like our own yeasts, like the yeast varieties, and each one of these will have its own specific yeast variety, and then we'll leave it, and it can like just keep going.
We can do natural
and generating.
Eventually, we hope to do sort of natural fermentations where we're not really having to like add a yeast to it, because the yeast will live in the air.
Live in here.
It will live in the fermenters, so that we will essentially create a kind of consistency based off that. But in the beginning, it's really exciting because we basically will just kind of let nature take its course.
Pretty much. I mean, on top of that, we have the large wine vats back here. Another 1,000 litre wine vats. But we also have our small batch barrels, these things, because in the next part, we'll show you the exciting bit. We're going to be doing smaller batch runs as well. Like these are our primaries, but we're going to do a lot of, I can't help but experiment. Right? Like that's just me. We'll be doing a lot of like small batch kind of things, like 50 bottle runs of just kind of weird shit that Fletch thinks up, pretty much.
Green tea shochu, capsicum shochu, whatever.
Aloe vera shochu, seaweed shochu. I'm going to be doing all these small batches in these things because I'm just crazy and want to do
mad scientist over here. So we have all of the things we need to make our product, except for one thing we haven't talked about yet.
One thing, or two things.
Well,
let's have a look.
All right, the final part of our tour.
Final part of our tour. This is the heart of Tano. This is our 1,000 litre still. Well, 1,200 litre still, I guess. This thing took us, how long did it take us to get?
We ordered it like a year ago, and then it arrived a month. Yeah, over a year before.
Yeah. As you can see, it has not been constructed yet, but you know, it's only Friday night, and what do we have scheduled for tomorrow night?
Oh, nothing. Just building
just
this thing.
Building the still. Just building the still, because you know, our social life involves building stills. That is our entire life now. But this thing is going to be able to do everything that we need it to do. However, we also have a second still over here, which is a 250 litre still, which, if you remember previously, Fletch being the mad scientist, he wants to do small batch weird things.
Experiments, yes.
That's Fletcher's small batch weird thing still over there. Or if we want to do double distillation spirit runs or something like that, we want to turn maybe a Mugi into a whiskey. Or something like that.
There's so many options we have for the small batch that we don't have to necessarily waste a batch on something weird that Fletch wants to do in 1,000 litre still. As you'll notice as well, those who are keen beans on stills, this is stainless steel, not copper, so it doesn't have that lovely copper. I mean, I would argue
we don't want a copper boiler.
I would argue that like stainless steel looks just as good, but personal taste. It is stainless steel. Because of the way in which we're going to be making our spirit, it relies on a very acidic wash. So if we use copper, we'll actually end up stripping the copper down to nothing, and that's not good. So we are going to be using stainless steel in the traditional Japanese method.
We are experimenting with copper swan neck. Yes, there are issues potentially with welding and stuff like that, but we have mitigation. Possibly we just want to see how it runs. We have a stainless option if we want to make it completely stainless, but we're going to play around with it and just see how it goes.
I think that gives us a lot of flavour.
And flexibility.
Exactly as well, because shochu is not something that many people are aware of in the market in Australia. So if we are going to create a traditional Japanese product, but for Australian tastes, then we want the ability to play with copper, the amount of copper in the still, so that we can achieve either a smoother or a more appealing taste to Australians.
As Kevin said, the main issue is that our washers with the black koji, because we're going to be using a lot of black koji, it's very acidic. I would argue not as acidic as a rum wash, or very similar to a rum wash sometimes. There are certain things that you can do when you are doing rum distillation that you can mitigate, like damage to copper and stuff like that. So it's an experiment. We'll figure it out.
It's really interesting, and it's a lot of stuff that we're going to learn. It's a lot of stuff that we're going to. There's a lot of trial and error. But I think that fits into a lot of the ethos of what we're trying to achieve here with the wooden fermenters, with our steamer, with our Nuruk Bang, with our koji room. A lot of this has never been done before in Australia. And while it has been done for a long time in Japan, and we have relied on a lot of experts that we've reached out to in Japan, we are still doing this for the first time by ourselves. So it's a really exciting but very daunting process steps that we're taking, but we're really looking forward to it.
And as much as we pay homage to all of those traditions and that, we do want to do things in our own way and learn from our mistakes, and we're going to make a lot of mistakes, and maybe copper in a swan neck with mitigation, maybe it's going to be a mistake. We don't know. But we're going to find out, and that's okay, because we're just going to make some really good spirits and do it from the heart and try to figure it all out.
That's it, from the heart. It's not a she'll be right attitude, but it will be right. We will get it right.
We'll get it right. Anyways, look, that's pretty much it. There's a lot more that we haven't shown you, a lot of the plans and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things percolating. We have a full-on next couple of months until we are working up to doing our first production run, which we hope isn't going to be too much longer. We've got a few more things to come. We've got to finish our electrics. We've also, which we didn't mention, we actually did a lot of the electrical work in here.
We did the electrics and some plumbing as well.
There. These are all little tiny things that aren't that obvious, but just have to be done. We've done all the sealing of the floors and all that. Our base for our koji muro, our koji room, will be arriving in about 2 or 3 weeks, and we're going to build that and then do the automation based on the Nuruk rooms. Build the bar and cellar door area.
Build the bar and cellar door, yeah.
It's all go. It's been busy, and this is why we're here at 10:30 on a Friday night working off and doing this because it's worth it.
And if you don't already know, we are also still working full-time jobs.
Yeah,
so
we are working full-time
That's
jobs.
why we're doing it on a Friday night, because we have finished work and now we're here shooting this video so that we can tell you about our progress, because we want to share with all of you our progress, the nitty-gritty, not just like the final, the finished product when the bottle comes out, which will look amazing, but we want to show you like the waste and the floors and the racks and the things that we are excited about right now. Even if you're like,
I'm so excited about the racks.
Why would I give a shit about a rack? Because we're excited about the rack.
Because it tied the room together, dude.
Yeah, it tied the room together.
It tied the room together, dude. You know?
Yeah.
Like a good rug.
Yeah.
Look, we're working our asses off, basically, and it's absolutely rewarding. Every so often, there's moments where we're like, fuck. But that is everybody that has set up a distillery, everybody that has done a brewery, everybody that has taken on a project like this. The rewards, like, for example, we were talking about the stills, and I'll show you this. Like, when that still came off the truck, and it was being pulled off the forklift, this thing here, right? Being pulled off the forklift. Like, I've had some moments in my life where my heart basically stopped, but when it was being pulled off the forklift and I'm like, oh, it's heavy on one side, obviously because they attached the agitator to it on one side, it's heavy on one side, and I could see this box leaning, I'm sitting there going like, if this shit falls, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Right?
We're done.
And then we got it inside and we opened up the box, and it was just, it's moments like that, right? Like all the hard work and stuff that we're doing for this, it's just little tiny moments like that that just absolutely make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, we are Tano Spirits, and we are a distillery in Northcote, in Australia, in Melbourne.
We are, yes.
And we would love for you to subscribe and follow our journey. We are a no bullshit, no hardball kind of video.
As you can tell.
This is just us, right? But please subscribe and follow us along on our journey. And we hope you've enjoyed this update. We're sorry it took a little longer. We will do more soon.
Yeah. Any questions or queries about what we've shown tonight, or anything you'd like to see us show you more of in further updates, anything you're curious about how it works, please drop us a note in the comments, and we will be sure to we would love to have a chat to you about it.
Follow us on Instagram. We do a lot of stupid stories. It's just Tano Spirits at Instagram.
At Tano Spirits. This Gen Xer right here. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Follow us on the socials, and most importantly,
drink Shochu.